Yeah, how's it going? Today is 20th of August, Tuesday, and we are taking a look at the market, what kind of opportunities we can find, and what's happening. There are a lot of press releases. Let's take a look at first. Let's take a look at satellites. There was a number of satellites that was launched by different governments. Let's start with the first article is and that was published 3 days ago. That would be UK Space Command successfully launched first military satellite. I don't know how it works, but I think there's a number of satellites. So they're saying it's a first. Perhaps who's paying for everything? Perhaps that's been paid by government. So in that case, perhaps it's a first, but there's a number of satellites. I don't know why they're saying it's first, but either way. Cutting edge new satellite launch, UK Space Command, and provide crucial space-based intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance. Right. I would be interested to know a little bit more about details from business perspective and how businesses would be able to engage and offer these kind of solutions and what would be the process. So that would be kind of interesting. Other than that, this particular article, they do go a little bit perhaps in finances, right? We can touch on those. Design and built in UK throughout the 22 million contract awarded by Defense Equipment and Support for Surrey Satellite Technologies Limited. Oh, okay. So those opportunities perhaps are available, right? Receive the first sign from Tach, which is compared in size to a warship machine. Okay, relax. Washing machine. Okay. Then a few hours after liftoff, confirming an successful launch, right? So, because of the size, right? So perhaps there's an entire market available up there. It's something that I think would be classified as a small size satellites, and the way how those satellites can be potentially launched into space. There's an entire market out there for people who are interested, right? We can take a look at, so we were taking a look at government statement. We can take a look at what would be BBC and how they would publish the same article, right? Same information, just published by different sources. So, UK's military satellite launch to boost space power. That the UK's military has launched first ever dedicated Earth imaging satellite. So perhaps that's a solution that the satellite would be able to offer and price, all those kind of things, right? I can briefly touch on the quality of images and overseeing most likely would be Ministry of Defense has contributed funds in the past to projects in UK commercial sector. He will be a first wholly owned imaging capacity, right? Just perhaps this satellite would be looking to solve just one particular problem. Perhaps it's me speculating, I guess. But it's roughly this entire project would cost about 22 million or so. Perhaps those opportunities might be available for others. Let's progress and let's take a look at Poland. I believe they have done it almost the same time. At the same time, that would be roughly about 1 day ago, a historic milestone for Polish space science, and they successfully launched Eagle Eye satellite, right? Polish space science and nanotechnology research historical moment with successful launch of Eagle Eye satellite into Earth's orbit, facilitating by there's different private businesses, right, who had solved this particular part, right? So someone not enough to build it. Building it, as we mentioned, can cost I don't know, roughly could cost about 22 or so million, right? To launch it, and depending on the size, sometimes if it's smaller, it could be launched on different companies can solve this particular problem, right? Since this article was published by one of the tech giants, right? This company is promoting another company, and this article will be published in this particular way, right? Myself, I'm interested in understanding prices and all these kind of things, but it perhaps would be as a promotional material, right? And the way how it's been published. So I would be interested in understanding who have built it. So if, but if, I think if not right now, perhaps in the future, Poland can have their own capabilities when building those, or perhaps they purchase everything. So that's might be a waste of time then. But either way, Eagle Eye was designed entirely by Poland from the ground up. Okay, okay. I'm reading all this information for the first time, by the way. While acknowledging that not all components could be made locally, components can be made locally. For example, Poland does not manufacture microprocessors. There's the name of the person. It stressed that the satellite is equipped with high-range technology, right? Okay, great. So it perhaps was assembled in. So I would rephrase it. It was assembled in Poland, right? But all components and the components will be sourced from the different companies. I would rephrase it. But I think it's a great thing that they working in this kind of area and they're looking to have this kind of capabilities. So if even if you have a tractor and you're looking to work in a field, you might want to have capabilities that your tractor would know where on the map it is, right? And from there, from those satellites and GPS or similar technologies, they can orientate. And to do that, most likely Poland and other governments would need to have satellites, right? As well as we can take a look at India, that would be solid SSLV rocket launch Earth observation satellite, right? So then it comes to having capabilities to launch. Not that many governments would have those kind of capabilities. I don't think UK has it, but perhaps they do. That I'm not aware of, right? And perhaps then they have their own capabilities, perhaps price of this kind of services. So that's a completely different subject. But if anything, most likely India would have these kind of capabilities. We can take a look at this article briefly before progressing to the next one, right? Helsinki, okay, okay. India successfully launched its third SSLV Thursday, placing Earth's observation satellite into orbit and completing solid rockets development process. The small satellite launch vehicles lifted. Oh, okay, okay. The details, not necessarily what we're looking for. The 34-meter long. So that's potentially a capabilities that India is working on. I know they do have this kind of capabilities when it comes to actually launching satellites, right? And I think they're doing for a fraction of the cost compared to your partners' historical data of how much it cost for launching some of those satellites or many things. I don't know most up-to-date numbers. I would be interested in taking a look at those numbers. Was taking a look at other missions and delivering of the other missions and how much for some of the governments it cost. And India was doing it for a fraction of the cost previously. So if they would build those kind of capabilities, great, it would cost way less, hopefully, right? So if you're looking or at governments who can solve a particular problem, they might be at a fraction of the cost, right? Now, next two articles, we're gonna progressing. Maybe there might be some opportunities up there. Let's try to understand if there are and how we can engage with establishing an even conference call would be great, right? That would be. Solving particular problems, satellites perhaps would be just one of many problems had to be. Press release of warships and submarine readiness boosted by small British businesses. Okay, small British businesses are to benefit from a new warship and submarine agreement. Defense Minister, I don't know its person, I don't know name or yes, announced today, right? So let's, I don't know these people, they might be important people, but yeah, either way. What we're gonna be taking a look at, that the UK SMEs are able to bid for work under a large new framework, okay? So that will perhaps more opportunities, more than 180,000 different items required delivered around the world. So if we were taking a look at Poland and satellites, such as if they're assembling those satellites, someone needs to manufacture some of those parts, right? Perhaps that's really just one of the cases, right? Greater Royal Navy fleet readiness to simultaneously support UK's economic growth, right? And we can briefly take a look at the entire article, but I couldn't find ways of engaging with the team. I couldn't find it. I believe that will be very, very important establishing those partnerships, right? Agreement with which will enhance economic growth across UK, will also boost overall availability of UK's warships and submarines. It will see far greater access from Minister of Defence directly to small and medium-sized enterprises, allowing them to bid for work under 7-year framework work of up to 180 million. Okay, that's reasonable amount, and it's small businesses, right? Where larger businesses, they would receive, I don't know, billions, right? But either way, it's great. The opportunities have been created. Marine Systems Transformation Program delivers support and or spare to non-combat equipment about aboard UK warships and submarines, covering 180,000 different items from propulsion systems to galley equipment. Across framework between the third and half of the suppliers are based outside of the south of England, with the majority being Midlands and north of England based, and additional suppliers based in Scotland and Wales. Okay. So we're looking diversified entire contract and spread it across the entire nation in this instance, right? I don't know. Perhaps it works on the paper, but they perhaps every supplier would have very particular set of responsibilities and what kind of problems they would need to solve, right? But either way, so it might work on the paper like that, and these people are doing great work. Let's progress to the next article. If government's advertising that they are creating those opportunities, sometimes they can share contact information, so people and all different businesses can engage with all parties, right? So if that would be a government, if that would be a particular institution overseeing everything, would be the best, right? So we could save a lot of time when, so not necessarily research would be needed, right? Let's take a look at the example of what I'm referring to. That would be NDA invest 30 million to cutting edge research and innovation, right? And in the bottom of this article, there's a process of how to engage with this team. So that's the best process, right? So that's really the process of how to engage, and these people, they understand it. Very common sense, I would say. But either way, so that would be 30 million, and potentially, I would say, nuclear decommissioning authority and research and work that's being done in space. But either way, let's progress and let's try to understand the areas of research and interest, right? So that would potentially opportunities there. For those of you who like to understand more, nuclear decommission authority, there might be a lot of opportunities, as well as they themselves, they mentioned that they have finances available, so as well as other institutions, as I mentioned, but there is no way to reach out to those institutions, so it's a different story, right? But either way, it's areas of research, right, and or partnerships perhaps, and there is a contact information in the bottom of this page, so at least there's a process in place, right? Other than showing, they're actually showing the process. I don't know if that makes sense. So I'll close this video by perhaps taking a look at, but serious people, right? So if you have any solutions and or do you looking to support this institution and its set targets, perhaps you might be looking to consider reaching out to them, right? Serious people again. These people are very, very busy, right? And they're doing important things. Thanks for watching. See you next one.